Malta isn't just a vacation spot. It's a 7,000-year-old time capsule floating in the middle of the Mediterranean. Most tourists crowd into the exact same three places: the Blue Lagoon, Valletta and Mdina. They snap their photos, tick the boxes and go home convinced they've seen the island. They haven't even scratched the surface. You can drive across Malta in under an hour, yet it packs more history and jaw-dropping beauty per square mile than almost anywhere else on Earth. But while the masses are bumping shoulders at the usual landmarks, the island's most extraordinary spots sit just 5 minutes away, almost completely empty. Today, we are tearing up the standard guidebooks. We're bypassing the crowded hotspots to uncover the real Malta, the places that take your breath away precisely because nobody told you they were there. These are 10 incredible places in Malta that most tourists completely miss. If you want to travel differently and discover the world's best-kept secrets, subscribe to Wonder Vibe right now. Let's go! Most visitors stand on the Valletta waterfront, photograph the golden fortifications across the Grand Harbour and move on. They don't realize that the city glowing across the water is the most historically important place on the island. Vittoriosa, or Birgu, is Malta's oldest continuously inhabited city. In 1530, before Valletta even existed, the Knights of St. John chose Birgu as their headquarters. They turned this small peninsula into a massive fortress. During the Great Siege of 1565, just 500 knights and 5,000 local soldiers held these walls against 40,000 Ottoman troops. Walk through Vittoriosa today, and the silence is absolute. You are walking the exact cobblestones the knights walked, surrounded by the same limestone walls. Cross the harbour on a traditional Dwejra water taxi and step right into the 16th century. This is where Malta's soul lives, and almost no tourist ever crosses the water to find it. The name translates to the mouth of the wind, and that tells you exactly what to expect. Fomm Ir-Rih is a remote, completely undeveloped bay on the northwest coast. Surrounded by dramatic cliffs and sweeping valleys, it feels like a virgin landscape forgotten by the modern world. There is no road to the beach. The only way down is a steep, rugged 20-minute hike. But what you find at the bottom is worth every step. The water is a stunning mosaic of deep and shallow blues, hemmed in by orange rocks. The water is so pristine that snorkelers can explore a sunken World War II aircraft resting perfectly preserved on the bay floor. On busy summer weekends when other beaches are packed, Fomm Ir-Rih might have 5 people on it. This is the Malta you get when you're willing to get your shoes dusty. Just a 15-minute ferry ride north lies Gozo, Malta's wilder sister island. And on its western coast sits one of the most extraordinary natural features in the Mediterranean. The inland sea is a shallow, scenic lagoon separated from the open ocean by a massive cliff. But they are connected by an 80-meter-long natural tunnel cutting straight through the solid rock. Stand inside the lagoon, and through a narrow arch of pale limestone, you'll see a circle of impossibly vivid blue water on the other side. Small wooden fishing boats duck through this tunnel daily with mere inches to spare. Legendary explorer Jacques Cousteau once named diving through this tunnel as one of his top 10 favorite dives on Earth. Take a boat through the arch, or swim as the afternoon light shifts across the walls. It is a place that simply shouldn't exist. While most tourists in Gozo crowd the site of the former Azure Window, a short walk up the northern coast leads to a 2,500-year-old marvel that receives almost no attention. The Xwejni salt pans stretch along the shoreline in a stunning geometric grid. The Phoenicians, the ancient maritime civilization that sailed these waters millennia ago, carved these exact pools directly into the limestone shelf. Incredibly, they are still working today. Every summer, local Gozitan families harvest the salt by hand using techniques that have barely changed in 2,000 years. The pools fill with seawater, the sun evaporates it, and workers rake the pure white sea salt into gleaming mounds. Come in the early morning to capture the most extraordinary footage of your trip. Buy a bag of salt directly from the workers, and you are taking home one of the oldest foods on earth. Mdina is on every Malta itinerary, and it deserves to be. It is a stunning ancient walled city packed with Baroque palaces and sprawling views. But the Mdina most people see is the 11 a.m. version, when the tour buses arrive and the streets are packed shoulder to shoulder. There is another Mdina, and it only exists between 6 and 8 in the morning. Walk through the main gates at first light. The golden limestone is cool, the streets are entirely empty, and the city's 300 permanent residents are just waking up. Mdina has been called the Silent City since the medieval period. In the hour after sunrise, it earns that name completely. It requires an early start, which is exactly why most tourists miss it, and exactly why you have to go. Just outside the walls of Mdina is the town of Rabat. Most tourists pass straight through it, but right beneath their feet lies one of the largest underground burial networks in the Roman world. Dating back to the 3rd century, the St. Paul's and St. Agatha's catacombs are a massive labyrinth carved directly into the soft limestone. Down here, the temperature drops and the light fades. You'll find over 1,000 tombs and circular stone agape tables where early Christians gathered in secret to share meals with their dead. Most visitors in Mdina never make the 5-minute walk to Rabat's catacombs. It is an incredible missed opportunity and your chance to explore an ancient underground city in total silence. Every country has beaches the locals quietly guard, places untouched by mega resorts and commercial beach clubs. In Malta, Gnejna Bay is that place. Curving in a wide horseshoe of pale sand beneath rich red clay cliffs, the water here is crystal clear and perfectly shallow. You won't find branded umbrellas or loud DJs. Instead, you'll find Maltese families setting up for the day exactly as they have for generations, with beach chairs, homemade food, and kids running in the surf until sunset. The road down is narrow and confusing, which successfully keeps the crowds away. Bring your own food, find a spot on the sand, and experience Maltese beach culture exactly as it was meant to be. The Knights of St. John scattered fortifications across every corner of Malta. But the Red Tower, standing alone on the island's northern tip, is often forgotten. Built in 1649, it relayed vital signals between Malta and Gozo. Painted a striking terracotta red, it stands on a high ridge offering panoramic views that haven't changed in 375 years. Climb to the roof on a clear day, and you can see across to Gozo, down the coastline, and even catch the faint outline of Sicily on the horizon. The tower is open to visitors, costs almost nothing, and the surrounding ridge offers peaceful trails with zero crowds. This is the Knights Malta, completely free of queues. While tourists flock north, Malta's south remains quieter, slower, and fiercely authentic. On Sunday mornings, the fishing village of Marsaxlokk explodes into life. The traditional Sunday market stretches along the harbour, wrapping past brightly painted Luzu fishing boats. Look closely at their bows, and you'll see the Eye of Osiris, an ancient Phoenician symbol painted there to ward off evil. The fish market is a spectacle. The night's catch is laid out on ice: swordfish, sea bass, and lampuki, mahi-mahi. Vendors shout their prices in a chaotic mix of Maltese and Italian. Grab a pastizzi, a flaky pastry filled with ricotta that costs pennies, and sit by the water. This isn't a show for tourists, it's simply life carrying on as it has for centuries. We are ending with something completely different. The best travel experiences don't just offer history. Sometimes they offer pure joy. In 1979, the crew for Robin Williams' Popeye movie built an entire fictional fishing village in Anchor Bay. They constructed 14 crooked, colorful wooden buildings on stilts right over the water. When filming wrapped, they left it all behind. Instead of tearing it down, the locals preserved it. Today, Popeye Village is a film set that became a real place. The colorful buildings still lean out over the rocks, and the bay curves perfectly behind them. It is ridiculous, deeply charming, and completely wonderful. There is nothing else in Malta remotely like it. Ten places, one tiny island, and every single one sitting quietly in the shadows while the tourists flock somewhere else. Malta rewards the curious traveler. Ancient underground worlds, working Phoenician salt pans, silent medieval cities, and secret bays. None of it is hard to reach. It just requires the willingness to step slightly off the beaten path. If this video helped you see Malta in a new light, hit that like button and comment below telling me which of these 10 places surprised you the most. We dive into the world's hidden corners every single week. Subscribe to Wonder Vibe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an adventure. We'll see you on the next journey.